the AFC West dynamic has now changed, Sarah. And I think for the Broncos, the most success they've had in the AFC West has really been splitting games with the Los Angeles Chargers. Now, Russell Wilson, I think with his addition, gives them the ability to potentially sweep the Chargers at some point. But on the other hand, they have a rising superstar in Justin Herbert who has the same opportunity to sweep the Broncos or to split games with the Broncos. It is an elevated division. Justin Herbert, as I mentioned, is a rising superstar, will be one, is on course for it. Russell Wilson is a superstar. That's where I feel like Denver has the advantage here, but the Chargers aren't too far back.
They're really not, and you see that like, just a lot of people every year love to talk about the Chargers, which is not abnormal, but I think at the same time, it's a different level of hype now. I mean, it's Justin Herbert has proven he is one of the elite young quarterbacks in this game. I mean, you talk about physical traits, you talk about intangibles. I mean, if you can sit down and talk to him, Cody, and come away thinking, man, that's a good dude right there, he must be a good dude because there's no way Justin Herbert has all these, he has everything that you look for at the position in an alternate universe. Could he have been a Denver Bronco? I feel like that's a story that people don't really talk about that much, but he was the apple of John Elway's eye once upon a time. And then he decided to go back to school for another year, which I think threw everything off, threw the whole plan off course. But here, we've landed right here today with Russell Wilson in orange and blue. So I think everybody's happy with where they're at right now, but the Chargers have to feel good about where they're at with Justin Herbert because, I mean, he's got one of the freakiest arms in the league. Obviously, just an amazing athlete. Just to watch him out there, the things that he's able to do throwing on the run, like you said, a lot of similar things about Russell and Justin Herbert in terms of their play style, being able to just absolutely kill a defense on the move.
Well, and I think for one element that we saw with Justin Herbert last year, specifically against Denver, like he can take over with his legs. Like he is an athlete. He can get to the outside. He can carry the football and convert. And one thing that he absolutely hurt Denver on last season, just going back and watching film, especially with Mike Williams, he hurt them on third and long. I mean, Denver had so many third and long situations defensively, which was like, hey, for first down, second down, the Broncos defense did really good, but there were some times where Justin Herbert and the Chargers bit the Broncos on third and long, and that's going to have to be something they have to counteract this season. But when we talk about having similar play styles, I look at Russell Wilson, I look at Justin Herbert. Both quarterbacks are very good throwing on the run, being mobile. We're going to see a lot of that from both these teams, but they can also kill you from standing inside the pocket as well. Like they can throw the ball downfield. Herbert's got a big time arm. Russell Wilson has a big time arm. So I think that you can maybe, I don't know, can you maybe make the comparison that maybe Russell Wilson, when he was a little younger in the NFL, when he first came into the NFL, didn't have the numbers that Justin Herbert had in his first two seasons. However, I think from a play style, they kind of remind me a lot of each other in many, many ways. And we talk about leadership. Justin Herbert has it. Russell Wilson has that leadership as well. I mean, should Broncos fans, Sarah, in your opinion, should Broncos fans be more excited about when the Broncos take on the Chargers versus to see Russ dueling against Herbert versus him dueling against Carr and Mahomes?
That's another great question to think about is who do you really want to face in this division? I don't know that
Nobody.
there is I know there's not really a great preference here. I just feel like you look at Justin Herbert, does he have a little bit more of the gunslinger type in him where Patrick Mahomes has that as well? Derek Carr is really less of a risk taker. So maybe against a team like the Chargers and Justin Herbert, you're more likely to get into a shootout than you are against the Raiders. So you might be able to do a little more ball control because Justin Herbert, we saw in that game against the Raiders at the end of last season. You want to get into a dogfight with the Chargers, you go right ahead because they're absolutely going to come back and come at you. Justin Herbert basically willed that team down the field on those last couple of drives in regulation. It was actually amazing to watch. I can't remember the exact number of fourth down plays
There was
that he
4
helped them
on
convert.
that
It was
last
4 of
drive,
them.
and
I
they
mean,
weren't like 4th and short, they were a lot of them
no,
were like 4th and 10.
it was amazing. And that's exactly what he's capable of doing. He's capable of putting a team on his back. That's what scares me the most is when you're talking about guys in this division that you really feel, hey, if the time comes where they're down by, 17 points with like 9 minutes to play, you're not safe against Justin Herbert by any means. And that's why I would maybe prefer to play against a guy like Derek Carr versus Justin Herbert, because I trust the defense against a guy like Carr, maybe not pushing the ball vertically vertically as much. Whereas Justin Herbert, I mean, he's going to get you back into the game with one sling of the arm, and he can do that at any point in time. So would I take him over Russell Wilson as a long-term option? I would say I don't know that anybody in NFL circles right now would say, "Oh yeah, I'd take Russell Wilson for the next 5 to 10 years over Justin Herbert." I think if you're building a team, Justin Herbert is exactly the type of guy that you would want to build your team around, and he's just that type of playmaker at the position, a rare playmaker who has, like you said, the ability to beat you with his legs. He can obviously beat you with his arm, but he's also just growing into. Remember the concerns with him coming out of Oregon? A lot of people question his leadership. A lot of people question, what's this guy like in the locker room? Is he too quiet? I think he's quieted a lot of those concerns.
No, he certainly has. And I like the point that you made. Like for me right now, if I'm looking at a short-term window versus long-term, if I had to build a team with a long-term vision and a chance to get to multiple Super Bowls, maybe with a team around him, I would say Justin Herbert's point, right? Because as we know, Russell Wilson wants to play for the next 10 years. Will he? Right? That is a huge question. We know Justin Herbert, barring something very unforeseen, will probably play for the next 15 to 17 years of his career. He still has a long ways to go. But if I'm talking about trying to win a Super Bowl in a 3-year window, I feel like right now Russell Wilson gives the Denver Broncos the best chance. And I think that the
Yes.
Chargers are going to be a very good team and one that Broncos country definitely shouldn't sleep on